Okay, Chapter 2, Part 2. We're going to look at the difference between mediated interpersonal communication and mass personal communication. These are most likely not terms that you're going to use an awful lot, but it's important to understand what they mean. If you're a communication major, perhaps you will use these. So our learning objective is to distinguish between mediated interpersonal communication and mass personal communication, and to use each of these appropriately. Okay, so before the explosion of social media, there was interpersonal communication, there was mass communication. I mean, there were some others, but those are the two. And by mass communications, we basically meant something that was public. So if you look at this chart, we're looking at the upper left-hand corner. It was newspapers, it was television. Possibly also it was, a group email or tailored spam. I'm going to say even things like these mass mailings, we buy houses. That's a mass communication because it goes out to a lot of people. And obviously interpersonal, remember, relatively small group of people, seeing the person as a unique individual, uniqueness, interdependence, all of those. Email, a phone message, a private message. We're in the class, you send me a message within Blackboard just to me, not to the whole group, or face-to-face conversation. So what we're looking at is it public, is it private, is it impersonal, or is it personal? And so in that top right-hand corner, you see the mass personal, where you are sending it out to, it's public, right? It's going out to a lot of people, a tweet, Instagram, a blog. Those are public and rather personal. Oh, my personal favorite, really, the Jumbotron proposal. We could talk about this later, but why would you do that? Okay, so let's take a look here. In mediated interpersonal communication, I think this is, for me, this is what I tend to think about when I think about interpersonal communication using technology. Okay, there's personal content, right? It's about you. There's a small number of receivers. What's small? I like they say, imagine you're going to tweet an ultrasound of the baby. How many people are you actually going to tweet it out to all 500,000 of your people who are following you on Twitter? Okay. The idea that we have mutual obligations. If I send something out there, you are obligated to respond. It doesn't have to be lengthy. I gotta shut the door, it's getting noisy in here. One of my jokes is I will send a text to my husband that could be, on the way to work today, I was, pirates shanghaied the car, and I had to fight them off with my cutlass, and I made it to work, and therefore I'll be late today. And his response would be, okay. Okay, so my joke is no matter what I say, he always responds with okay. He feels, rightly so, that he has the obligation to at least acknowledge that he has received my message, even if I don't like his length, his lack of depth. Okay, and there is expectation of privacy. If I send my daughter a text, I don't expect she's going to share it with people. She did turn me into a meme once, which was terrible, but also very funny. Okay. Mass personal communication, on the other hand, it's still personal content, right? Because there's that personal. You're writing about yourself. The audience is larger. I mean, I've got a group of friends that we text. There are 6 of us, okay, and I will send something. I imagine if I actually had a Twitter account, I would probably have more than 6 people following me, and I might still send out similar things, but I would realize the audience is larger, so I think I would pull back a little bit on the personal content. There is less mutual obligation. As they say, if you've posted, you're on your 18th picture of your cute puppy, people are not still going to be responding, oh, how cute, right? And we'll talk next slide about the like button. There's also a relatively low expectation of privacy. You realize that if you put something out there, it's possible that someone is going to retweet it, or it's going to get out to a larger audience. So the idea that both of these have in common is the idea of its personal content. The differences tend to be how many people are seeing it, the issue of privacy, and the moral obligation. I thought it was really interesting. They had this focus on research on page 43 that talks about the meaning of the like button. Okay, so I thought we could talk about this a little bit in class. When you like something, what exactly does this mean? What is it? Remember in chapter 1 we talked about the relational dimension of a message and the content dimension of a message. And so let's talk about some of the differences in what the like button means, both in terms of content dimension and the relational dimensions. And you can maybe get at that when you think about what some of your rules are when liking someone's posts. And if you have your own, and you probably haven't sat it down and written them out, but you have an idea of what your rules are, and then what are the rules that you expect your friends and family to follow. And again, you might not have explicitly stated them. Okay, so now let's look at, I keep going back to I'm not sure, because I don't have Masspersonal messages. Can you tell me how you believe that these kind of messages can strengthen interpersonal relationships and build support? Or if you don't think they can, bring in that example and tell me how you don't think they can. Okay. Oops, that was a really short section on the difference between Masspersonal and Mediated Interpersonal. I'm getting really tired of saying these words. Oops. All right, let me stop this.